infrastructure when there is flooding. And now we know the problem right now, the smog problem, which is a different kind of a environmental or infrastructure issue. Technology itself, just having more tech industry here is not going to solve the problem. This is why we need to have humility along with the optimism about technology. So we have to temper our optimism with humility.
Sorry, I have a question related to that.
Yeah.
At what point does the role of technology end, and at what point is it completely dependent on human beings? Is there a point till which technology can be the enabler, after which the role of technology ends? It might be AI, it might be ML, it might be any future ready technology. Is there a point across industries where?
Yeah, this is the whole distinction between bits versus atoms, right? So technology is dealing in bits, digital, and everything are digitizing. So we're converting everything into bits. But there's a point at which those bits are going to influence atoms, the physical world, not just floating in the internet, floating in the cloud. We are a cloud company. Not everything will be floating in the cloud, right? So it has to touch the atoms. That's the point at which we have to focus on food, energy, water, climate, all of those.
Essentially human capital.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi Sridhar, this is Vijay from Liveland. I want to ask you on the ESG metrics, since we have this conference in Delhi, gasping for breath, climate change going on. What Zoho's commitments towards environment, sustainability, and governance? You've invested in Gen Robotics, which is a great thing. Focus on manual scavengers. And are you planning to put out your sustainability reports out of the approach?
We about 40-50 kilometers from Trichy, we run a fairly large solar plant now that meets almost all our needs, both our office and our data center in Chennai. So that's something that we are doing right now. We are building more solar capabilities. In fact, every office, we want to be self-sufficient in terms of energy. We are building solar. That's something that we are doing. We are also investing in water. For example, we now have full-time, maybe 5 or 6 people whose entire job is to just erect ponds, restore rural ponds, so that we can store more of the water, because water is a very critical thing. And everywhere I go, it's true in Tamil Nadu that many districts now face a water shortage in many years. Eastern UP, I went to Sonpatra, and they told me the same thing, that we are digging 500 feet, 600 feet, no water often. So again, the solution is we have to store more of the rainwater. There is enough rain, fortunately, but we have to store it, we have to be very judicious. That is one critical priority. So I'm taking up problems like this. The third one, we are investing in rural skill creation for our vast rural population, rural youth, skill creation. That's something we started in Terkasi, we are now going to do in Tanjavur. We have actually already started a center there, and I'm planning something in Eastern UP as well. The same lines, what we are doing in the South.
Hi Sridhar, I'm Ashish from the Economic Times. You mentioned that you had received 25 patents in the last 3 years and a further 11 are pending. Could you explain a little more what are these areas that you received?
Variety of areas. If you look at these, everything could be from our like a Zoho presentation product. This product itself has patents. Could be on database technology that I mentioned. Could be on our AI technologies. Could be on our compiler technology. I am working on technologies, compilers that we are filing patents. So all of this, and including even I think word processor, we have a patent now. So across the board, they are filing for patents.
Most of these will be software.
Almost all are software patents. Our other companies like Signal Chip have their own patents. So we Titan has its own patents. I'm only talking about what Zoho is filing in software.
I'm Abhinav from the Week magazine. Would like to get an idea about what are the other growing markets for you besides India, and how do you see the overall economic scenario right now in the coming?
Our fastest growing market even now is India. Across the board, growth rates have come down this year compared to last year. Let's be clear, right? But still, the fastest growing is India, and close to it is the Middle East. These two have been fast growing for us. And then other developed, established markets. US has been seldom somewhat okay, but US taken a beating. Japan has struggled a lot. And China, you can see the news, pretty grim news from there in terms of economic news. So those are the markets, but in terms of absolute scale of contribution, the US will be number one, EU number two, but India is now approaching number three now for us. That's what it is. And India, I think, will be number two in the next 4 or 5 years, number one maybe in 10 years, at the rate at which it's growing.
And what is the overall scenario, the SaaS or the cloud market scenario?
Definitely we saw a very extreme boom bubble last year.
Yes.
And history, the only thing we can say is look at history. The bigger the boom, the bigger the bust after the boom. So given that we had the largest bubble in history in the last couple of years, that's the aftermath is here already. So we'll have to go through those period of adjustment, retrenchment, and learning some lessons, all that, 2-3 years, and then hopefully things will normalize at some point.
I would like to add what Sridhar said. When the market hits, it hits everybody. Some people get hit worse than the others. And the fact that we've been investing heavily in R&D, 3x more than marketing, that sort of gives us the kind of cushion that we are a lot more optimistic about our growth, even though the percentages have gone down. We're still optimistic because we have kept our spending low since forever. So that's kind of keeping the spending low and investing in R&D and putting that money back into the business is what sort of keeps us a bit more, I would say.
By spending low, you mean basically how? Where all you have spent it less?
Marketing is where we spend. See, generally the SaaS industry, everything spends in marketing.
Yeah, so essentially if you look at cost of acquiring a customer, if you look at how much we pay or spend rather to acquire a customer, is considerably low from how a lot of our customer does. And it's not just about how much we put on an ad. A lot of it also depends on the breadth and the depth of suite that we have. And honestly, it's not even a hidden secret of sorts, because as a suite of 55 plus applications, there's a lot of cross-sell opportunity that we have. And a customer who comes in, let's say through something like the Zoho Workplace suite, eventually discovers other products and buys the software subscription. So that brings down our cost of acquisition drastically down, right? And over the years, we've built on this entire suite of products. So that's one. And the other part is, of course, we keep our advertising spends low deliberately. These two things put together make our cost of acquisition much lower than the competition. And obviously, staying private and profitable definitely makes things easier for us.
We actually sacrificed some growth during the COVID. Otherwise, we could have grown even faster and spent a lot more. But we chose not to take that option.
Sindhu from the Times here. Had a couple of questions. First, for your Zia, the AI assistant to be stronger, don't you think data privacy and AI are counterproductive? Your insistence so much on data privacy by not, personally not identifiable information, etc., is going to compromise on the growth of Zia, number one.
No, there is a way to do this. That's why I said, first of all, your business model matters. If you are going to mix up ad-based business model and this business model, then there's always a potential for subtle data leaks. But if you have an overall privacy shield around everything you do, then data can more freely flow between. But we actually don't need personally identified information. That's what we do. There is a contextual integration that happens across apps, but PIA we are very strong on. To give you an example, we may have to, for example, if I get an escalation from a customer, somebody sends me an email saying I have this issue. I post it in our chat group for support people and say, take care of this. That kind of data, it's PII, meaning there's an email address there. It'll first warn and then it'll delete it quickly. Meaning when somebody sees it, it'll delete it. So that the data is not lying around in the chat all the time. So this is the kind of thing you can do where it can even disappear quickly. They just did some work, like somebody is going to call the customer. After that, why should it be in the chat? Either an email address or phone number, whatever, right? It can disappear. So those are the kinds of things that we think about. And so there's an AI that will recognize that this is PII, and it'll warn you when you post, and it'll remove it after that work is done.
Hi, Sindhu. I would like to add to that. This question often comes up to us as a company with 80 million plus users, we're definitely sitting on a lot of data. That's given. How we like to approach that is, it's not about whether we have that data and how we store it. That part Chitra already addressed. It's about what do we do with that data. It's like the phone knows everything about me. The phone knows who I speak with, what I put it in it, what kind of pictures I take, where I shop. My phone knows everything about me, probably more than my mom. But what does the phone do with that data is what defines me whether this is my choice of phone or not. And that's where I think we differentiate ourselves. Our business model is very straightforward. We make business software, we put it up for subscription with a free plan. People who like it, subscribe to it, they pay us, we make money. There's nothing else to it. There's zero ad revenue in the company that we have across the Zoho suite of products. By keeping it that simple, both internally and externally, we don't have to answer to anybody. And I think that defines a lot of how we run the business, including the privacy part of it.
Yeah, in our US events, I used to joke that you can cheat on your lovers, but you can't cheat on your phone. The phone knows, right?
Hi, I'm Prasun from PTA. Given the macroeconomic challenges, what kind of growth visibility you have for the company? You have grown 1 billion in revenue, and if you can share what has been your overall growth pattern YOY in last 2 quarters?
We definitely have seen growth slow down compared to the 2021. No doubt. We have seen that slow down. It slowed down and then it has slowed down further in the last quarter. And you can see this across the board, the industry, all the publicly reported numbers. Where do we go from here? That is the another $1 billion question, right? Where do we go from here? I'll give you my optimistic hat and the pessimistic hat, right? First, the optimistic hat. We have a very strong product line. We are one of the most affordable players. We have a very diversified product suite. Every business needs it. And we are often the most affordable solution, the most affordable solution. That's the optimistic part. Well, the pessimistic part is we are in a massive earthquake zone called the global economy. It is a massive earthquake zone with the earthquake now, the tremors are all too obvious. And no matter how sound you're building, a big enough earthquake will do some damage at least. You cannot escape without any damage. That's not realistic. So there's a part we control, which is what we can do with our R&D, our products, our pricing, all of that. Then there's a part we don't control, which is the global economy. So there is a positive and a negative factor, A minus B. Which will dominate? I actually have no idea. We have to take it month over month, quarter over quarter. That's exactly what I communicate internally. There is this A minus B going on. We know what we are doing in A. We can kind of see where the B is, but we cannot say what A minus B will come down to. So that's the problem. However, there is positive tailwinds, there are headwinds. Summed up, I don't know where it is. So I just wait to forecast it.
Based on conservative estimates, do you think
You can only do ranges, right? I'll give ranges for the B factor, which is the global economy. At least a painful recession is on the way, and that everybody agrees now. Even many central banks have conceded. Will it morph into something worse? That we don't know. What is that worse? We don't know because we are in uncharted territory. Japan, take Japan. The Japanese yen has gone from 100 yen range it has been trading for 3 decades. 3 decades about 100 yen to a dollar. It's like sort of everybody will remember this. Now it's 150 yen. And the Japanese central bank, the Bank of Japan is fighting this. And Japan is a major exporter. They have more than $1 trillion in terms of reserves. They have burned through about 100 billion in the last few weeks. So would they be able to defend the yen? It's not clear. And you saw Bank of England. Bank of England issues fell the Prime Minister. It's that serious, the economic situation there. So can this spread globally? For example, there are countries like Greece and Japan which carry extreme amount of debt. And what is going to happen? How is the debt situation going to be resolved? The relatively benign outcome is high inflation for a number of years. That's the 1970s that happened. And then there are far worse outcomes like the 1930s on that. We just cannot know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know and we cannot know. We just have to take it month after month.
Given the markets that you have operated,